Do you remember Baby Boy with Tyrese, Snoop Dogg, Johnson? Okay.
Yeah.
Remember when the hairstylist is buying something from
He was like, I'm
Jody?
gonna fit myself into this.
Upstage him? You upstaging us, man. You upstaging us, man. Look at you, dog.
When he was selling the dresses out the back of the truck.
Yes. Anyway, good to see you, man. How's everything?
What's going on, man?
Happy Friday.
Yeah, you too.
Same. Hey, we were getting into it earlier off the top, talking about these reports of Kawhi Leonard getting star treatment above it. Yeah, okay. Look, you know the story. Take it away. What's your thoughts on that? And can Ty Lue get them together?
If anyone can, it's Ty Lue. I remember after that 2016 title, there was this, you can find it somewhere, and like somebody used your Google Analytics skills. And it's like David McMenamin when he was following the Cavs and some more beat writers, the guy who was covering with, out in Akron at the Beacon, and someone else. And they did this like roundtable radio show podcast, and it was like 2 hours, and they were just chronicling all the stuff that happened with that 2016 team, and stuff that was reported, and all the good stuff that reporters know but just don't write about. And what I got from that was just that entire season was a soap opera. David Griffin talked about it throughout that year. And what it taught me is that Ty Lue was very good in messy situations. And the Clippers are a very messy situation. So I think they got the right guy. They didn't bring someone from outside in. He knows the personalities. He has the respect of the locker room because he can basically say, like, I have a ring. None of you do besides Kawhi. And we've seen all the issues that happen with the Clippers. So I think this was the perfect hire and a great hire. And if he would have went to Houston or Philly or someone else, and Ballmer didn't get this done with Ty Lue, then the Clippers would have just been the old Clippers, because I just thought this was the only person on the market that fit perfectly for what they need to do. Now, do I think this means they're going to win a championship? Nah, yeah. I don't see that happening. But this is the best person to clean up that mess.
All right, but let's just talk about this for a second. My man plays for the Los Angeles Clippers and lives in San Diego. All right. So I think that's a problem. How do you feel about that? And he was missing some flights, late for flights. There's special treatment, and then it's just kind of taking it too far. You think that's taking it too far?
Look, you can live wherever you want to. We're in a moment right now where people are working from home and, doing their jobs exceptionally. But you got to show up on time. If it's a Zoom meeting, if it's a team playing, like, you got to be there, especially when your face is on the billboards. Like, I get you get some star treatment. And I heard y'all earlier talking about, KG. Well, Kawhi ain't KG. KG could do that because KG was the vocal leader. He was the one that brought energy, and we knew he was going to hold you accountable, and he was going to hold himself accountable. Kawhi doesn't talk. We don't know who he talks to, what he necessarily sounds like. His laugh is terrible and weird, and he's been wearing these ugly braids for the last 15, 20 years. Like, we don't know much about the dude. So if you're just a weird dude that can hoop and you just going to show up when you want to, like, this is not really going to go well when you got a roster full of dudes like Montrezl Harrell, Lou Williams, who's on the back of the plane eating his wings, and Patrick Beverley. This is just not a good mixture if the guy is not going to talk and he's going to be late. Like, there's just a lot of issues there.
Hold on, man. How you going to talk about my man's braids like that, though? You're not
because they're trash. They're trash.
Look, that take filed away. He was like, if I don't say nothing else, I'm going to comment on his braid.
It is not even that he has braids. It's the same straight backs since San Diego State. Like, you can't switch them up. There's no type of designs. Do something. Like, they're terrible. Like, there's no growth. He ain't got no length. Like, what we doing, fam? Let me know. Like, I just need some type of variety somewhere.
But look, all jokes aside, though, and I know you're serious, but in terms of Kawhi, because of his rings, the 2 rings, 2 different teams, 2-time Finals MVP, did we in the media, maybe not you, Carron, but did we give him a bit of a pass for this collapse. Because a lot of obviously, Doc Rivers was the fall guy. Paul George took a lot of the brunt, or just the Clippers gonna clip. But we unintentionally give Kawhi a bit of a pass for what just happened.
I mean, it's part of the bigger problem that we have, like, in the media, if we're going to use that term. We give everybody a pass besides LeBron James. Like, he's the only one we hold up to this stature that no one else can pass or surmount. Like, Kawhi's been getting a pass. Steph Curry always gets a pass. Like, let's really be honest. That dude is not really good in the finals except for, like, the last 2 years. He'll have moments, but he don't really show up when you need him. He did against Toronto. Good for him. But, KD got it over the head for going to Golden State. But if we really
I wouldn't say Steph
this,
don't show up when you need him. But I hear you, though. He has not been the best player in the finals. But, I mean, come on now. Let's not go too far with the Steph slander.
No. I'm not slandering. Like, I love Steph. But when you're the first unanimous MVP in league history, and you have no finals MVP, and you lost that second year, and you blew a 3-1 lead because you was throwing behind the back passes to the second row. Like, come on. Like, can you imagine if LeBron did that? And how bad it would have been?
Your overall point is airtight. LeBron is held to a different standard. So by default, Kawhi, you're saying Kawhi is getting that same pass everybody not named LeBron gets.
We do it to Kawhi. We do it to Giannis in a way that is concerning, because what Giannis did in the bubble, all these reports that the Miami Heat might potentially go in and get Giannis, like, I don't understand why. Because we understand what the Heat culture is. Jimmy Butler, Spo, Pat Riley. Look at Jay Crowder. Like, look at that team. That's a bunch of tough, gritty guys. Giannis is the same dude that just won Defensive Player of the Year a couple of weeks ago. And after they lost, I think in game 2 or game 3, they asked him, did you ask Coach Bud if you can guard Jimmy in the fourth quarter? And his response was, why would I do that?
Yeah.
How can that dude, who's Defensive Player of the Year, work in Miami in that culture? I just don't see it.
You figure it out. I think listen, if they got an opportunity to get Giannis, Carron, you got to get Giannis Antetokounmpo. Even if you do have reservations, and you let Jimmy Butler, whatever dog he got, you let Jimmy Butler bring it out of him, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, listen, I got concerns about it, but when I pull the trigger, yes. But during training camp, we going to have a couple come to Jesus moments. And we going to get all that Kool-Aid that's pumping in his heart out. Because in order for this to work, as good as Giannis is, you got to find some dog in you, because them type of answers just not going to fly, because that means your mentality is just not at the same mentality of the rest of this team and this franchise and this culture, and something is going to have to change if this is going to be able to work, and we're going to give up all these pieces to bring you down here.
All right, Carron, the last time you were on, you mentioned that, the DMs are open. You moved to a new city. Hey, ladies, now, hey, talk to me. You're in Chicago, right? You're in Chicago.
Yes.
So you got to be careful with this answer, because, those prospects might say, wait a minute, I didn't like your answer on this. We talked a lot about LeBron versus MJ, just historically. All right, who do you got in this debate? Or is it even a debate?
Well, I will give you an answer, but first I'll give you my disclaimer. I hate this debate. I don't think this should be a debate. I think it is a complete waste of time, because it diminishes one person. It covers up the flaws of one person. We have revisionist history about, one or the other, especially when you expand it and throw Kobe in it. I just think at a place now that, like, we should be able to respect each person in the era that they've played in. If you have your favorite, fine. But when we get into this debate in barbershops, on TV shows, on podcasts, it gets into a lot of mudslinging. And I think it's just a really, really bad take, to where, especially when it comes to LeBron, we're not giving him his flowers now. And especially what happened to Kobe. Like, I don't want us not to give someone their flowers if they may, tragically leave us too early. But to answer your question, I'm picking LeBron James. I think he is the greatest basketball player that's ever walked this earth. I think LeBron James has been the best basketball player on earth since Game 5 of the 2007 Eastern Conference Finals. when he did what he did to the Pistons. That's just my opinion. When I look at a complete basketball player and his entitled career from high school to the league and how long he's been doing it, like we've never seen someone's prime this long. And look, I get the different metrics and the 6 for 6 for Jordan, but when you do that, you also forget about all the first round losses. And look, we're talking about a dude who might be number one, possibly, in every statistical category in the history of the league when he's done playing, because the dude's getting ready to turn 35, 36, and he's still the best player in the league. Like, who knows how long this will go on? Like, he could be at 40 playing. He could still be like a 12-8 guy, still putting up numbers, still making the right play. So I'm going with LeBron.
Yo, last thing I got for you, man, before we let you go, or not, you never know where this conversation might go. So, love to follow you on Twitter. I never asked you this. Are you a Braves fan?
I have been a Braves fan, since I was like 4, 5. Oh. It is the first team I was like introduced to as a kid.
Okay.
My uncle took me to Old Fulton County Stadium. And like before back home, growing up in Michigan, before I picked the Fab Five, before we was rooting for the Bad Boys, like the first memory I have of going to an actual game of any athletic contest was Old Fulton County Stadium and getting a A-hat. So like, yeah, I just been so hurt since the 96 World Series that like
I'm not a Braves fan. I'm not a Braves fan, but I did grow up a Braves fan. Growing up in New Orleans, we did not have a baseball team, so we had TBS, Atlanta right down the road. So I grew up, so we probably was watching them at the same time. Reason I brought that up, put Michael Holley back on the screen. I brought that up just to, lob a grenade between the two of y'all. Because
you can like the Braves and all that. How many division titles they win in a row? About 20. Always win a division title.
About 400.
Always.
400.
They're about to mess this thing up for me, man. They're about to mess up the World Series for me. Nobody trying to see the Braves and Rays in the World Series. I love baseball. I will boycott that World Series. I promise you right now, I don't want to see the Braves and Rays in the World Series. Guess what? Nobody else does except for you and Michael Smith. I want the Dodgers and Astros. I want drama. I want hatred. I want great players. I want the best players in baseball going at it. Braves and Rays. Wake me up. Wake me up when it's over. Please.
I mean, it's cool. I get it. I feel you. But if the Braves pull this thing off and Ronald Acuna and his dreads and the Rays and all them cats get a World Series, like, yeah, this thing gonna get real funky out in Cobb County. And I need this to go down. This is payback for blowing it in 96. Yeah, we need this. I'm all for it.
Well, listen, I'd love to see what kind of attire.
It's asterisk territory, Michael Smith. If the Dodgers don't win it, everybody else is a fraud.
Don't get mad at us. Don't get mad at us because Clayton Kershaw choked in the playoffs every year. Like, that ain't our fault. We teed off on him last night. Look. Just give the Braves this. Like, listen, we're still hurt, like I said, from 96. Look, man, I think this would actually help baseball if the Braves won because, let's be honest, baseball hasn't had a cool baseball team with black players since the Braves in 95 and the stretch of players that the Braves had when you had Dion and David Justice and Fred McGriff and all those cats. Then you had Smoltz and Glavine and all of them. So, look, if you all want baseball to be cool and baseball wants ratings and baseball wants black people like they claim they do, but we know they really don't, like, this is one of the teams that's going to have to be sexy and be the face of the league and have to win a World Series. That's how it was in the 90s, and that's when I was a fan because you had all the black, cool baseball players. Like, look, I love David Justice because David Justice pulled Holly Berry. Like, Ken Griffey Jr. was playing, Barry Bonds was playing. I knew they were all better, but I wanted to be that guy, number 23 in red, white, and blue, because what he was doing off the field, because I was like, oh, you can be cool and do that? Cool. So if you want to bring that back and you got cats and gold chains playing for the Braves right now, yeah, let this happen.
For the culture. Hey, man, I want them to win just to see what you show up in. to see what kind of attire you show up if they win the World Series.
It's gonna be some polka dot. I know that.
All right, we're looking forward to it.
I love it.
Hey, man, Carron Phillips, keep up the great work, brother. We appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
All right, man.
All right, Carron.